Let's get right into it. Number 11. The Innocent Loofah. You probably have one hanging in your shower right now. That mesh poof of colorful plastic joy, or maybe the all-natural gourd-based exfoliator for the eco-conscious among us. It feels so productive, doesn't it? You're scrubbing away the day's grime, sloughing off dead skin cells, emerging from the steam a renewed, gleaming specimen of human hygiene. Well, I'm here to inform you that you're basically polishing yourself with a bacterial grenade. Here's the deal. Your loofah is brilliant at its job, a little too brilliant. It scrapes off all your dead skin cells, which is the point. But then, where do they go? They get trapped in the loofah's intricate web of fibers. Now, you hang it up in the shower, a warm, moist environment. For bacteria, this isn't just a home, it's a 5-star all-inclusive resort. You've provided them with food, your dead skin, lodging, the loofah, and a perpetually humid climate. It's a bacterial utopia. Within hours, that innocent-looking scrubby becomes an all-you-can-eat buffet and breeding ground for a whole host of lovely microorganisms, including some potentially nasty ones like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which just loves causing skin infections. So the next morning, when you grab that loofah and start scrubbing again, you're not just cleaning yourself. You're taking yesterday's microbial party and smearing it all over your body, often into the tiny microabrasions you just created by scrubbing. You're essentially opening the door and personally inviting the germs inside. You're basically just reapplying yesterday's filth with extra steps. Congratulations, you played yourself. Number 10. Your spice rack of doom. Ever looked at your innocent jar of nutmeg and thought, I could probably get weird with that? No? Well, plenty of people throughout history have, and they all learned a valuable lesson. Your spice rack is not a pharmacy. Nutmeg, the cozy, festive spice you sprinkle on eggnog and lattes, contains a psychoactive compound called myristicin, and in large enough doses, we're talking multiple tablespoons, not a light dusting, it acts as a powerful and profoundly unpleasant deliriant. This isn't some new discovery. It's been used for centuries as a cheap, legal, and truly terrible way to get high. Consuming a large amount of nutmeg is like signing up for a 24 to 48-hour subscription to misery. The effects take hours to kick in, lulling you into a false sense of security before your central nervous system decides to host a chaotic, poorly planned festival in your honor. Users report severe anxiety, hallucinations, a dreadful sense of impending doom, nausea, and a cottonmouth so severe it feels like you've been gargling sand. It's basically all the bad parts of a psychedelic trip combined with a terrible 3-day hangover and a fever dream. Your body converts the myristicin into a compound that messes with your adrenaline and neurotransmitter systems, effectively telling your brain to panic in the most boring, nauseating way possible. So next time you're grating it over a pie, just remember you're one spectacularly bad decision away from meeting the ghost of Christmas past, present, and what the heck is that thing in the corner? Number 9. The Killer Wallpaper. Imagine it's the Victorian era. You've just moved into a beautiful new home, and you want to decorate it with the latest trend, a vibrant, beautiful green wallpaper. It's called Scheele's Green, and it's all the rage. It makes every room pop. It also, unfortunately, makes every occupant drop dead. Because this trendy new color was made with a pigment loaded with arsenic. The creation of Scheele's Green in the late 1700s was a revolution in color, but it was also a masterclass in unintended consequences. The arsenic-laced pigment was used in everything from wallpaper and paint to fabrics and children's toys. In a damp home, and let's be real, most Victorian homes were basically tweed-scented swamps, the wallpaper would grow mold. Certain molds, when they munch on this particular pigment, release the arsenic into the air as a toxic gas called arsine. So families would be sitting in their beautiful green parlors, slowly breathing in poison. They'd suffer from nausea, headaches, skin sores, and eventually organ failure, all while doctors were baffled. Some historians even speculate that Napoleon Bonaparte's death in exile was hastened by the green wallpaper in his damp island home. It wasn't until the late 19th century that the public finally caught on that their beautiful decor was waging a silent chemical war against them. It really puts your argument with your partner over beige versus greige into perspective, doesn't it? Number 8. Your forever pan. That non-stick pan in your kitchen is a modern miracle. It lets you cook a perfect omelet that slides onto the plate like a figure skater, no chisel required. The magic behind this is a class of chemicals called PFAS, most famously Teflon. For decades, it was the symbol of convenient, futuristic living. The problem is the P in PFAS might as well stand for permanent. These are often called forever chemicals because their molecular bonds are so strong that nature has no idea how to break them down. They don't biodegrade, they just accumulate. In the environment, in wildlife, and in you, when you cook with a nonstick pan, especially if it's scratched or overheated, it can release these compounds. The older pans, made with a specific PFAS called PFOA, were the worst offenders. This chemical is now linked to a whole buffet of health problems, from kidney and thyroid issues to developmental problems. While modern non-stick pans have phased out the most infamous PFOA, the replacement chemicals are still part of the same forever family. We just don't have as much long-term data on them yet. It's like switching from a known bad guy to his mysterious, unvetted cousin. These chemicals are now so ubiquitous they're found in the blood of nearly every person on Earth, in polar bears in the Arctic, and in rainwater at the tops of mountains. Your convenient breakfast solution is a tiny contributor to a global contamination problem. That pan will likely outlast you, your house, and possibly human civilization itself. But hey, the eggs didn't stick. Number 7, the Showerhead of Pestilence. Nothing beats a long hot shower. The steam, the pressure. It feels like you're washing away all of life's problems. But what if I told you that you might be willingly inhaling a bacterial super soaker? Your showerhead, my friend, is a paradise for a particularly nasty character called Legionella pneumophila. Yes, the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease, a severe form of pneumonia. Your showerhead is the perfect incubator. It's dark, it's wet, and it's full of little nooks and crannies. Over time, a slimy protective layer called a biofilm builds up inside. This biofilm is like a gated community for microbes. It protects them from the chlorine in the water and provides a stable place to reproduce. Legionella loves these biofilms. It sets up shop, multiplies, and just waits. And then you turn on the shower. The force of the water dislodges tiny bacteria-laden droplets, aerosolizing them into the steam you're so enthusiastically breathing in. You're basically standing in a microscopic water park of doom. While the risk for a healthy person is relatively low, for the elderly or immunocompromised, it can be a serious danger. So the very device you use to get clean could be blasting your lungs with a face full of lung-infecting bacteria. It's a classic betrayal, right up there with a vending machine that eats your dollar. Number 6, the Sentient Dust Bunny. Under your bed, behind the sofa, in that corner you pretend doesn't exist, lurks a fluffy, unassuming creature, the dust bunny. You probably think of it as a harmless clump of lint and hair, but a dust bunny is so much more. It's a horrifying little ecosystem. It is a historical archive of everything disgusting that has ever happened in your home. Let's dissect one, shall we? The main ingredient, the fluffy matrix holding it all together, is human hair and skin flakes. You shed about 1.5 million skin flakes an hour, providing a constant food source for the millions of microscopic dust mites living in your home. So, your dust bunny is part you, part spider relatives. Then we add the fun stuff: pet dander, pollen, fungal spores, clothing fibers, dead bug parts, and tiny bits of food. It's a graveyard and a pantry all in one. But the real danger is what it absorbs. Your dust bunny is a chemical sponge. It soaks up flame retardants from your furniture, forever chemicals shed from your pans, lead from old paint, and pesticides you tracked in on your shoes. It's a concentrated little ball of household toxins. When you walk by, or the air conditioner kicks on, you disturb this fluffy monster, sending those chemical-coated particles airborne, ready to be inhaled. That dust bunny isn't just lazy housekeeping. It's a fluffy little archive of all your failures, both hygienic and chemical. Number 5, the Killer Icebox. Before your sleek stainless steel refrigerator hummed peacefully in your kitchen, keeping things cool was a dangerous game. The earliest home refrigerators, which became common in the 1920s, were ticking time bombs. They used toxic gases like ammonia, sulfur dioxide, and methyl chloride as refrigerants. These chemicals were great at cooling, but they had one tiny drawback. If they leaked, they would kill you. And they did. Families would go to sleep and never wake up, silently poisoned by a leaky fridge gasket. Newspapers were filled with stories of entire households being wiped out by their fancy new appliance. It was a domestic Russian roulette. You could have fresh milk, but you might also die in your sleep. It was a tough trade-off. The problem got so bad that one of the people who decided to invent a solution was, of all people, Albert Einstein. Working with a fellow physicist, he patented a new refrigerator design that was safer, though it never caught on commercially. The real solution came in the form of Freon, a new class of safety refrigerants called CFCs. They were non-toxic and non-flammable, a miracle. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief and bought a fridge. It took another 50 years for us to realize that while Freon wasn't killing us in our kitchens, it was systematically murdering the ozone layer. So the appliance that went from being an acute, personal danger became a chronic, global one. Your modern fridge is a tamed beast, but its ancestors had a serious body count. Number 4, the Spud of Spite. The humble potato. It's the foundation of our most comforting foods. Fries, chips, mashed potatoes. It's reliable, cheap, and seems utterly harmless. But every now and then, a potato decides to show its dark side. If you've ever found a potato that's been forgotten in the back of your pantry and has started to turn green, you've witnessed a potato preparing to commit a felony. That green tint isn't mold or a sign of unripeness, it's chlorophyll. But the chlorophyll itself isn't the problem. It's just a visual warning, like a tiny green skull and crossbones. The presence of chlorophyll means the potato has been exposed to light, which also ramps up its production of a natural poison called solanine. Solanine is a glycoalkaloid neurotoxin, which is a fancy way of saying it's a plant-made poison that messes with your nervous system. In small amounts, it'll just give you a stomachache and a bitter taste. But if you eat enough green potatoes, you're in for a world of hurt. Vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, and in very rare, extreme cases, paralysis, coma, and even death. The potato isn't trying to be evil. It's a defense mechanism to stop animals and insects from eating it. When you see that green, the potato is basically saying, I am no longer a simple foodstuff. I am a weapon. Do not test me. It's a good reminder that even the most boring-looking things in your kitchen are one bad decision away from holding a grudge. Number 3, your deceitful couch. Ah, the couch, the centerpiece of domestic bliss. It's where you binge-watch shows, take naps, and spill salsa. It's a symbol of comfort and relaxation. It is also, very likely, a patient, long-term chemical distribution device that is slowly leaking toxins into your home. For decades, to meet flammability standards, most upholstered furniture was pumped full of chemical flame retardants. These chemicals do, in fact, slow the spread of fire. They also break down over time and escape from the foam cushions into the air and dust of your home. You then inhale them or ingest them when you touch a dusty surface, and then your food. These compounds are linked to a lovely menu of health issues, including hormone disruption, reproductive problems, and cancer. But wait, there's more. The wood products used to build the frame of your couch, like particle board or plywood, are often held together with resins containing formaldehyde. Yes, the same stuff used for embalming. Formaldehyde off-gases for years, contributing to that new furniture smell, which is actually the smell of a volatile organic compound that is a known carcinogen and can irritate your eyes, nose, and throat. Your comfy couch is essentially a soft, squishy Trojan horse, looking inviting, while secretly dosing your living room with a cocktail of invisible chemicals. It's like having a roommate who never pays rent and is also trying to poison you very, very slowly. Number 2, the sweet taste of poison. We all know lead paint is bad. It's the boogeyman of old houses. But have you ever wondered why kids were so drawn to eating the paint chips in the first place? It seems insane. Are they just a generation of tiny weirdos with a craving for construction materials? The answer is much more sinister and tragic. They ate it because it was sweet. One of the primary compounds used in old lead paint was lead ditauers acetate, also known by the charming nickname sugar of lead. It has a distinctly sweet taste, so when that paint started to peel and chip, it created little toxic candies all over the house. A toddler, exploring the world with their mouth as they do, would pick up a paint chip, taste it, and discover it was sweet. This reinforced the behavior, turning a dangerous act into a rewarding one. This is perhaps one of the most horrifying design flaws in human history. We coated the walls of our homes, schools, and even our children's cribs with a potent neurotoxin that actively encouraged kids to eat it. The devastating effects of lead poisoning, developmental delays, learning disabilities, and behavioral problems stole the potential from millions of children. It's a chilling reminder that the most profound dangers are often the ones we create ourselves, wrapped in an appealing, even delicious, package. It wasn't just paint, it was a candy-coated neurotoxin hiding in plain sight. Number 1. The Domesticated Serpent. Look around your room. I guarantee you can see one. It's snaking along a wall, hiding behind a desk, or coiled up in a corner. The humble extension cord and its cousin, the power strip. They are so common, so mundane, that we treat them with the same respect as a throw pillow. But these things are responsible for thousands of house fires every year. They are the domesticated serpents of the electrical world. The problem is our complete and utter disrespect for their limits. We see 6 outlets on a power strip and assume that's an invitation to plug in 6 things. But the strip itself has a maximum wattage. Your computer, your space heater, your monitor, your phone charger, your lamp. You're asking that one wall outlet to do the work of a whole power station. This is how you get an overload. The cord heats up, the plastic insulation melts, and suddenly you have a fire. Even worse is how we treat the cords themselves. We run them under rugs, where they get stepped on and frayed, and the heat can't dissipate. We pinch them behind heavy furniture, damaging the internal wires. We use indoor cords for outdoor jobs. We daisy-chain them together, creating a long, sad, electrical fire snake. We treat these conduits of powerful energy with the casual indifference of a forgotten phone charger, but they are a direct line to one of the most destructive forces we've harnessed. It's the silent, patient predator of the electrical world, just waiting for you to get a little too comfortable. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.